Now, I would like to present our second panelist. Professor Dato Dr. Ahmad Ibrahim is Professor of Chemistry at UCSI University and Senior Advisor Malaysia at the Fraunhofer Research Network in Germany. Dr. Ahmad's angle on our theme is Future Only Gets Better, be an agent of change in oil palm industry. Over to you, Dr. Ahmad.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prava. First, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this very important topic of attracting the millennials to embark on a career in the very bright future of the palm oil industry. I strongly believe that palm oil has a bright future ahead, and there are many reasons for this. First, what does the world need? The world needs food, right? And oils is one of the key food items that the world needs. And I know every year, the demand for oil is increasing at least 3% a year because of better purchasing power and bigger population. So if you look at the comparison between all these oil, the 17 oils, of course there are a few, 3, 4 the major ones, you see that palm oil stand out. We talk about environment. I mean, if you look at comparative environmental score between these three oils, you see that palm oil again stand out. And we know that we are running short of land for the world to plant food crops. Again, palm oil stand out as the one which gives the highest yield per unit per hectare of land. And add to that the fact that palm oil has got many other attributes in terms of nutrition and other properties as food. I just cannot understand why there are so many who is hitting below the belt and harassing the industry. This to me is just cannot be explained. But of course, we know there is competition. The world is full of competition, and palm oil industry will have to rise to this competition. We have all the ammunitions. We have all the scientific arguments. In fact, I was telling my colleagues from Palm Oil Council, we should now embark on a cyber trooper. You see that a lot of the harassment is done through the social media. Recently, is about that palm oil in biscuits can cause cancer. Of course, this has been disputed by our Director General of Health, which is good. But we must go on the offensive. We must go and pick out products from the US, from the Europe, which has very high level of trans fatty acids, for example, which is something that has come under a lot of scrutiny by the Food and Drug Authority throughout the world. But we're not capitalizing enough on this. So we need to go on an offensive. Even on environment, we need to go on offensive. It's no longer acceptable to just keep accepting what is being spread as fake news around the world. So I actually, myself and Tan Sri Yusof, we had crossed paths many times. We started our career in rubber, and Tan Sri Yusof actually introduced me to palm oil. And I've been doing a lot of years understanding palm oil. And I am convinced that palm oil has a very promising future for the country. Although now we are having 70 billion a year in Malaysia, but I think the opportunities to increase, to expand is there. Now, we are limited by the land area, of course. We are now approaching the 6 million hectares or thereabout. But MPOB is working very hard on increasing the yield. So I'm talking about technology here. Technology is becoming more and more prominent in the palm oil industry. And I don't see why the millennials, they are not attracted to this kind of opportunities that are presented by the industry. Even the drone technology, robotics, artificial intelligence. I have been involved in one group of people from the US. They are in satellite imagery. And this is now being used a lot in the plantation sector to monitor, your application of fertilizers, disease issues, and other health aspect of the crops. And added to that, the fact that now there is an emerging demand for what we call carbon farming. Carbon farming is another opportunity that palm oil can actually embrace and benefit from it. Because increasingly, because of climate change, people are now looking to buy carbon. Those who have a carbon deficit industry will have to buy carbon to actually offset the deficit, to meet up the requirements of the target set by the climate change under the UN. And I'm told that in Glasgow, end of the week, there's a big COP26 meeting, which is going to be deliberating further on this. And we must remember that the tropics will be the one which will have the most impact in terms of global warming. And we have to be wary of that. And we can actually use palm oil in this carbon farming business. We need to look at this. But for the millennials, I think maybe we're not marketing the industry well to the millennials. We're not telling them exactly the attraction of becoming involved in this industry. I'm doing my bit. At UCSI University, one of the subjects or one of the groups I teach is in the foundation. And I teach introduction to chemical engineering. And you know which crop I use as my case? Palm oil. And I've been teaching this for many years about how palm oil is processed, the benefits of palm oil. So this should be done. We should get more lecturers in the different universities to do this. But to market to the millennials, or in fact to market the talent, to get more talent to join the industry, I suggest, I was just hinting to Tan Sri just now, we should look at the model used by the army. You know, the army, a soldier is also the 4Ds, difficult, dangerous, and whatever. But many young people join the army. Why? Because they talk about the conditions when you join the army, that you can be exposed to new training. You know, you don't have to stay forever as a harvester. You know, you can actually be given training to advance your career in other field. So this has to be a package. So I would like to suggest that the palm oil industry develop some kind of a labor blueprint where you can package your marketing constituents to the millennials. And technology, I believe the millennials are more comfortable with dealing with technology kind of business. And palm oil, I mean, we already talked about drone, robotics, artificial intelligence, and these are all technology. And I want to tell that increasingly now, we are also looking at biotechnology in palm oil, trying to improve the oil in the breeding. So there's a lot of technology space in the industry. But this needs to be marketed. This need to be consistently told to the millennials, which is not happening, I'm afraid. And the other one that when you talk about the environment, actually, the palm oil industry has from the start been looking at environmental impact of their business. I remember because I used to do a lot of work on waste treatment First for rubber, then for palm oil. We were doing it. We were concerned about the environment. We went into zero burning. We went into looking at the biotechnique of dealing with pests. We were concerned. So, I mean, it's not right to say that the palm oil industry lack of environmental concern, which is totally untrue. So these are things that I think that the palm oil industry need to embark on to actually market the industry more, other than just to fight those harassment that has been coming our way through the social media. We have to go on the offensive, and we have the ammunition, we have the science, we have the substance to actually fight all these fake news that are being spread on the social media. Thank you very much, Rabah.